What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lonnie from Flight Sim Gaming. Today we're doing a flight with Aeroflot, Russian Airlines, with Fenix A321, continuing our journey up towards Moscow, and then we're going to sort of head back down towards Armenia. Today we are operating service from Sochi to Moscow, Shermetyevo International Airport. If I'm saying that correctly, I hope I am. That's a real flight flown in the A321-200 by Aeroflot. It's about a 2-hour flight or so. Shouldn't be too long. Straight up towards Moscow. Not much scenery out in Russia at the moment, but lot of scenery up in Moscow that you can purchase. Obviously, you have Sochi. From Moscow, we're going to be headed down towards Armenia, and we're going to Yerevan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. And we're going to continue flights in the Fenix A321. We're going to try to get better at flying this aircraft. I see that my landings haven't been all that great. So we're going to hopefully change that around. This aircraft is a very simple aircraft to fly. I'm not understanding sort of my problems with it, but you know, let's see what happens. Anyways, we got GSX doing GSX things. Got 167 passengers to board up here. Let's jump inside the aircraft. Let's get it ready to rock and roll. So I already got the fuel and weight stuff kind of going here. We're going to come down to the MiG-2. And we're going to plug in some info. Let me just confirm the time. I don't want to land. It's about 3 p.m. So we should be okay for a decent arrival. Beautiful. We're flying live time, by the way, ladies and gents. Flight in it. Let's go ahead and we'll request. Beautiful. There we have it. Aeroflot 1119er from Sochi over to Shermetyevo. Come over to the init tab here. It's init request. Beautiful. Aeroflot 1119er. Plug that in. Cost index today 47, and we're cruising up to 34,000 feet. IRS init has already been aligned. Beautiful. Come over to page number 2. We'll send off our fuel and weight info. There we have it. 9,000 kilograms of fuel. Zero fuel weight. 65.1 CG 26.2. 65.1, 26.2. Beautiful. Come over to the flight plan tab here. Haven't synced Navigraph yet, but let's have a look at our routing. So it looks like departing out of runway 20 in Sochi, we're departing off of the ADNET 1 Charlie departure. Runway 20, ADNET 1 Charlie. No transition. We'll insert that. Come over to Moscow. We are expecting, I think, 06 Center. So the ILS 06 Center approach on the OLOP 3 Golf arrival. And again, no transition. We'll insert that. Beautiful. Come over to the perf tab here. Let's calculate our perf stuff. Let me turn up my sounds. Runway 20, it's dry. We'll load that. Flaps 1 departure. We'll sync all of that. We'll calculate. 46, 48, 52. So light load today. We'll send all that off. Flaps 1 up 0.8. Beautiful. All of that is plugged in. Transitions 13,000 feet here on the ground. Come over to the secondary flight plan, copy the active. And then we'll go ahead and add our return in case of any emergencies. And aircraft are landing on 20. Sorry, are departing off of 20. I'm really not sure what they're landing on, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in an arrival. We'll do Loke Zulu 02 coming in. I don't think they land in on the other runway. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you, but I don't think they do. So we'll leave it at that. Fantastic. 22.8 set up and plugged in there. Get all of our switches on. Squawk 2000. Let's continue to set up the rest of the aircraft. Altimeter 1010, so 1010. And if I look at the departure here, looks like we gotta be below 8,000 feet. Beauty. Fuel pumps will come on. AP bleed can come on. Get rid of the chocks and cones. Get rid of that. Baggage is sort of already completed here. Let's open up Navigraph. Have a look at what we're doing here. We're departing off of runway 20. We're going to make a cheeky left turn. We're going to come up to Sierra 201. We're going to be above 2,000. And then it's a right turn heading 227, Sierra 202, where we're going to be between 3,600 and 8,000 feet. Pretty cool departure coming out here. Heading up towards here. Looks very simple. The winds are 170 F4. No significant clouds. 30 degrees. Altimeter 1010. Sounds like boarding has completed. Beacon light can come on. Let's go ahead and request push. Go ahead and accept our load sheets here.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Lock in gear.
Quick edit pushback. We're going to go ahead and taxi onto Mike. Or pushback, I said. Pushback, I mean onto Mike. So Mike's all the way back here. So we're going to get it way out there.
Exiting from editing mode. Please wait.
Release parking brakes. Commence and push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Engine number 2. By the way, I don't know the actual procedures for which engine to start up, so I'm so used to starting engine number 2. It's what we're gonna kind of do here. And a couple more flights in the A321. I actually took the A319 out for a spin. That aircraft flares way differently than this aircraft. So I did a small flight Toronto to Ottawa just to, test it out. And and I had to visit maintenance after that landing. You thought the last landing here in Sochi was hard? Fuck. Engine number 1. CFM engines today, ladies and gents. No IAEs.
Set parking brakes. Unlocking gear.
It's 2 good engines. Come up top here. APU bleed coming off. Master switch coming off. We'll get our taxi lights on. Engine start switch back to the norm position. We're gonna go flaps 1. I think it's up 0.8 on the trim.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
So we're not really trimming much.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Up 0.8. Beauty. Auto brake set to max. Ground spoilers armed. We'll wait for the ground crew to clear, open up Navigraph, have a look at our taxi routing. We're going to go Mike over to November. We'll cross runway 20 over to Quebec. Sort of loop around, backtrack, back on out. So we'll take the longest bit of the, or maybe we can even depart out of right here. Let's see. Let's see. We'll go Mike November onto the runway, and we'll go from there. Beautiful. Parking brake coming off. Let's get it, ladies and gents. I think the next aircraft we get back in, it's going to probably be the 777. Been a little while. I think that is the next aircraft on the list. We'll do some ops in Canada. I want to do Toronto to Vancouver, considering the first flight I did not get uploaded. And then we'll see from there. You know, maybe we'll cross the Pacific. We'll do a nice little 8-9 hour flight over to maybe Japan. Looks like coming up on a hill. Get all our lights on here. Line ourselves up as best as we can. And we're starting to roll down the hill now. Beautiful. Enjoy the departure, ladies and gents. Throttle's going up. 50%. Man flags 51, SRS auto blue. Knots, we're neutral. A321 and rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear going up. Flight director's playing tricks on me. Climb detent in. Kind of weird on takeoff. You pitch up, and then it kind of like just jerks up. I don't know. I've been noticing that. Flaps 1, ground spoilers, disarms, go ahead, runway turns, nose lights coming off. Still hand flying, ladies and gents. We're going to make this turn, and then we'll go ahead and slap autopilot on. Leveling off at 8,000 feet. We got the constraint here. Should be clearing momentarily. There we go. And we're climbing. Autopilot coming on. Bring you back up top here. Not bad. Not too shabs. Not too shabs. $10,000 feet. Wing lights, landing lights. I'm gonna fly this aircraft up to 34,000 feet. Catch y'all on the descent into Moscow, ladies and gents. Enjoy the rest of the video. Peace! What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the video. We are on the descent to Moscow. We are landing at the Shermetyevo airport of Moscow, descending on the Olopi 3 Golf RNAV arrival coming in and expecting the ILS 06 right approach. The winds are 100 at 4 right now. Let's open up Navigraph. Have a look at what we are doing. As you can see, quite the arrival coming in. We're gonna disregard all this. Once we hit Gekla, I'm gonna just go direct soar it, and then we'll fly the rest of the departure coming in here. I don't know what all of this mess is for. It kind of reminds me of landing in Frankfurt, that big arrival coming in. So, you know, I know we've been vectored before, coming into certain airspaces on the network. This one here, I'm actually going to go direct while I have it up right now. Direct soar it. And we'll have a look at what we're doing just momentarily. The winds are 100 at 4, temperature 25, altimeter 1026. Coming into Moscow. We're on the ILS 06 right approach, so we're going to fly this in. I've noticed the ILS is a little bit offset here at this airport, and I'm not sure the reason for that. I don't know if that's a nav data issue. I've had issues in the past in Phoenix aircraft with nav data, and yeah, you gotta be careful because you don't want to fly the approach in autopilot. It's going to offset the aircraft from the runway, so we'll make sure that we follow those instructions coming in. We got a transalt's 10,000 feet, minimum's 819, straight in landing, pretty cool approach coming in. Lovely. And like I said, so we went direct soar it, and we're going to sort of, actually we can go direct Costino. We'll go direct Costino. Keeps the aircraft on a nice, beautiful descent coming in. So we're going down 15,000. Well, actually, we'll go down to 10,000 feet. There's about I think there's 3 or 4 international airports pretty close within each other. It's probably the reason for this type of arrival. We're going to try to bypass all of the shenanigans. No traffic, ladies and gents, not on Batson. We got the airport right out over there. We're a little too high. We probably could have vectored ourselves and cut through. I've done some flying in Europe previously. ATC would just, you know, kind of cut all this bullshit up, vector us around. But we're a little too high for it now, so it's okay. We'll fly the approach. From Moscow, we are going down to Armenia. We're scheduling that flight. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream or if we're going to do another video with that. We'll have to see kind of how the week plays out. And from Armenia, we'll probably hop into 319. Might do one flight with it. Then I want to fly the 777. That's sort of what I have sort of planned. Been a little while since we've flown the 777. Lots of routing we can do. Maybe we'll take it from Armenia. We'll see what kind of flights we can do. I was also considering from Armenia we can go from Yerevan. We can fly with Wizz Air and the A321 out to Abu Dhabi, and then maybe we can do some Etihad flights or something like that. This is our airport out here. We're going to be landing on 06 right. Not sure if people land or if aircraft land on 06 left. Maybe some of the locals can let me know. It's quite the taxi though, so we're not landing 06 left. As a matter of fact, Flight Radar doesn't really show you what the aircraft are currently doing at this airport. I don't know if that's just a thing, the Russian aircraft, and then trying to keep everything sort of discreet. You can see aircraft on the ground, you just don't know what airport or what runway they're landing at, which can make things a little bit challenging, but it is all good. Let's go ahead and add some fixed rings here, just so that we sort of know when we're about 10 miles out. So we'll plug in the airport info, and then we're going to go 10 miles and 5 miles now on the approach. We're going to be getting slow real quick. At about, I think, 15 miles out, we're going to be about 190, mandatory 190 on the speed. Aircraft slowing down to 230 knots. Not quite. Slowing up momentarily here. Get our volume mixer out here. We'll go ahead and lower some of this. A lot of wind noise coming in. Make sure that aircraft's meeting that 230 restriction, and it is. We're looking good. Showing a little bit high on the profile here. It's fine. Aircraft will sort of get ourselves down. We got this massive loop here. We're probably going to descend at maybe a couple hundred feet per minute because we're going to go from 10,000 to 7,000. So we got all of this here. was sort of clear 3,000 feet, so we're looking pretty good. .1026 is the altimeter, or QNH 1026 is where we got to be. Go ahead and whip out some speed brakes here. Help the aircraft just a little bit. We're going to level off at 10,000. We're going to go ahead and start descending. We're going to go down to 2,500 feet. 2,500 feet. Missed approach is showing 3,000. We'll go to 3,000 instead. Beauty. Speed brakes can go back in. And again, I'm going to cut ourselves in here. We're going to go direct to FAS. Help the aircraft continue its approach here. We don't have to, waste some time to get the aircraft pretty much down on the ground. You know what I mean? Altimeter 1026, 25 degrees. The winds are 100 at 4. Minimum's 819. Yep. We're going to go direct turd. Believe it or not, it is turd. Beauty. Maintain 220 on the speed. So at turd, we got to be at mandatory 220. Let's get that bad boy on 20 miles out. Here's the airport right off to our left wing there. Don't forget, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying the content, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not for more flight sim gaming content. Aircraft start to descend above 5,000. VNav is wandering a little bit. Approach mode going in. You gotta be at 190. 190 coming up to Dufar. So let's go ahead and whip the speed brakes out. Go ahead, flaps 1. We'll arm the speed brakes. Little stuttery coming up into these parts. This is Derziki Design Moscow. So it's, you know, heavy in performance. Even with frame gen 80 FPS, you know, I'll take it right now as I pen around. It's not doing it now, but I've noticed that this airport and the outskirts are a little bit stuttery. And there's glide slope coming in. So we're going to maintain 170. Wrong camera view. There we go. This out here looks like a Pokeball. going to go ahead and hit the Loke button. I'll make sure our nav frequency is correct here. We got 109.1 and we got 109.1. Yep, nav frequency is set. This aircraft's good. It auto-tunes the frequency. So we'll tune Loke. We're going to maintain 180. We'll stay at 190. And airports out there, is like I said, I've noticed with this aircraft. Keep in mind, I haven't flown to this airport. This is sort of the first time we're doing a flight out in Russia. I had noticed the Loke is off center. Not sure what all that's about, but had issues previously with the Fenix A320 where it was a nav data issue. Going back and forth with Navigraph. They were kind of arguing it's a Phoenix problem, but they ended up putting out an update, and it was indeed a nav data issue. There's Loke. Loke's capturing. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that approach button, and we're level off at 3,000 feet. Go ahead and get the sounds up.
2,500.
Check. And we got to maintain 180 for a little while. So let's go 180 on the speed. Low flaps 2. Low captured. The winds are 090 at 3. Glide slope coming in. Let's go ahead and manage speed. Gear coming down. Laps 3. Glide slope coming in. Laps full. Clear to land. We are gonna throw some of our lights on here. Get out 3 green. Flaps full indicated. We are clear to land. The winds are 090 at 3. Keep the autopilot in for a little while here. Not going to follow flight directors coming in. We're going to center ourselves with the runway visually. If you follow flight directors on this ILS, you're going to be offset. For the arrival, ladies and gents, catch y'all on the ground. Wait for about 1,000 feet. We'll take controls. Oh shit! Look at the wind. Maybe we'll wait for the winds to kind of spin us back around. And they will.
1000.
Check. My aircraft. Performance is very stuttery at the moment. I don't know why. There we go, 50 FPS, we're back in it. And look at the flight director and look at the runway. So we're pretty well lined up here. It's just the flight director is, I don't know, either, like I said, mapped out issue. 3 whites, 1 reds, get it back down.
Above. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Burst coming out. I'll take that. I don't know what's going on with the performance, ladies and gents. Negative 230, no bouncing, but stuttering. Knots. I have no idea what's going on with performance right now. Let's bring it back up top here. We'll vacate to the nearest left exit. It's going to be Gulf 4. Performance is massively heavy at this airport. I'll take that one, ladies and gents. I will take that one. We're going to cross 06 center. Keep our lights on here. Laps up. Up the GSX. What do we want? We want Terminal B. And we want stand 121. Gate 121. Strobe lights, wing lights, runway turns, taxi lights, nose lights going back over to auto. We're going to make a left on Bravo. I notice sometimes at certain airports, performance drops on approach. Sort of a pain in the ass. Sort of a pain in the ass. For a minus 232 on the landing rate, I felt like it was better than that. But, you know, I'll close this one off. This was a pretty decent landing for me. A lot of static traffic here. A lot of those Aeroflot, what are these things? The CS, I don't even know what the hell they're called. But We're coming up over here. There's some good performance coming up. 68 FPS. Let's try to butter this taxiing job. Marker brake coming on. APU bleed coming on. Let's stutter all around the cockpit here. We'll shut off the engines. Seatbelt lights coming off. Very good parking. Come over to GSX. Go ahead and request deboarding.
Requested.
Dismiss. Ground services. GPU coming on. Beauty. Oh, we are stuttering, ladies and gents. Not sure where all that sound's coming from. It's got to be from the airport. But anyways, there we have it, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed that flight. That was a pretty cool flight coming into
Passengers boarding started.
Moscow. Let me go ahead and turn some of these sounds down. Next flight, we are operating service with our, I think it's with Aeroflot, if I'm not mistaken, down into Yerevan, Armenia. Rearward flight flown out of Moscow. And should be a good one. That'll sort of conclude flying in Russia. There's not much scenery at the moment. So we'll probably cap it off there, and then we'll see what we're going to do. As I said, I want to get back in the 777. But anyways, ladies and gents, thank you for taking the time to come out to fly with me. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, ladies and gents. Peace!